What is going on with this flipping mic today? It's doing my head in. Oi! All right, you bunch of numpties. Welcome to the Pat the Flyer podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by absolutely no one, because we're too bloody good for sponsors, right? So do us a favour, like share, subscribe. Unless, of course, you've got something better to do, which, let's be real, you don't. All right, enough about me. Let's get to the important bit. We've got the legend himself, Adam from Radix, here today. Good to see you, mate. How's life treating you?
Thanks for having me on the show today. Looking forward to it.
Hold up. Before we go any further, just tell me this. How the hell is Radix different from all those other projects like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana? They all sound like the same broken record to me, mate. So, what's the real deal here?
So Radix is a layer one network. So similar to things like Ethereum, Avalanche, Solana, etc. We're a smart contract layer, really focused on DeFi.
Frickin' hell, I didn't expect that.
Now, there's a couple of unique things about Radix. First, and probably one of the coolest, is that we've been around for quite a while.
That's insane.
So work started on Radix back in 2013. Our founder, Dan, got bitten by the Bitcoin bug, saw all the promise of what Web3 and crypto offered to the world, and decided to start playing around with it.
Can you explain a little bit about Radix and the project? Or should we just assume it's some kind of high-tech wizardry and leave it at that? Come on. Give us something we can actually understand.
Really, Radix, we are taking a full stack approach to how we build. So as I mentioned, we've got obviously our base consensus layer Cerberus, which is unique to Radix. But we didn't stop there. When we kind of cracked that nut of how do you create scalability that can work for billions of users and hundreds of millions of businesses globally, was that the only thing stopping adoption of Web3?
Can you say that again, but slower?
For billions of users and hundreds of millions of businesses globally.
Ugh, I just lost my train of thought. All right, let's pretend that didn't happen. Right, so, what's the deal? Is Radix compatible with any EVMs? Or are we just going to have to figure out a new way to mess things up? Please tell me it's at least easy for lazy people like me.
Radix isn't compatible with other EVM chains. It was a design choice we made early on. And short term, yeah, there's obviously some challenges there. You can't just copy and paste code over and deploy straight away. However, we're able to unlock a whole heap of benefits long term. So for a start, things like assets being a native function, like security as the primary function of the language and the execution rather than an afterthought.
Are there really projects here that aren't just someone's weird side hustle? How's the building process for the devs? Easy as pie? Or are they pulling their hair out?
So as of right now, there's about 140 announced projects. If you go to Radix list, that's a community site that tracks many of the projects being built. And that's amazing for me because Scripto only went into early access, as I said, in December 2021.
All right. Let's talk tokens. The Radix token, I've heard about it, but tell us, what's its role in this whole ecosystem? Is it just another thing to throw in the pile? Or does it actually do something useful?
Yeah, so Radix is a fixed supply token. So there's a max supply of 24 billion. Total supply at the moment is just over 12 billion. The difference there is from emissions. So it's a delegated proof of stake network. And emissions are about 300 million XRD a year, distributed proportionally based on delegated stake.
Sorry to interrupt, Adam. It's promo time. This episode's totally sponsored by, well, no one. Yeah, that's right, no one. We're still waiting on someone to throw some cash our way. But hey, no rush. If anyone from the Radix ecosystem wants to get involved, hit me up. I'll be here, waiting. Links in the description. If you can be bothered. Investors, right. Everyone's always looking for the next big thing, but why should we care about Radix? Is this the one that's going to make us rich or just the next shiny thing we'll forget about next week?
For me, it comes back to that same point, is if you believe Web3 has the promise to make the world better. And I mean that in both the pragmatic way of making like the global financial system more transparent, more usable, more open for everyone, and also more efficient at what it does. And also the social way of being able to give people more access to opportunities within the global financial system and how they control their assets and custody their own funds, then you should be interested in Radix because that's exactly the same as we've done.
Education, huh? You think projects like Radix actually need educating? I mean, everyone's already so smart in this space, except for me, obviously. What's your take on teaching people about this tech? Shall we just hand out free lessons on how to get it? Or is that asking too much?
How we're doing what we're doing and why we're doing what we're doing really matters to people who are going to be the early adopters and the innovators within this space. And so education there, massively important. As we get later, though, I think education in a weird way becomes less important. If we've done our job on user experience being really intuitive and really secure, we shouldn't need to be educating people on all these complex terms or difficult ways of interacting with Web3. It should just be intuitive. They should just pick it up. Likewise, when we scale, I shouldn't have to explain to my friends, my family, my colleagues that, oh, yeah, you want to use that thing on Ethereum? Oh, wait until Sunday morning because the fees will be lower then.
Oh my God, you're kidding, right?
Or, oh, make sure you've done your own research to make sure you're not going to get hacked, or this isn't like a spend approval site, make sure you're not getting phished and all these sort of things, because no one wants to deal with that stress. They just want to use a system that works. So,
all right, let's get into the juicy stuff. Web3. I've heard Radix is solving all these issues, but come on, mate. Is there anything with Web3 that you just can't crack yet? Don't make me sit here all day waiting for you to say no to that one.
So I think there's many which we can't solve directly, because a lot of this is through things that are outside of our control. Ultimately, we're an infrastructure platform at Radix. We have our own, obviously, consensus programming language. We're doing some amazing stuff on user experience that we're giving away for free to developers, but it's the developers who are front and center on our mind.
Just give me a moment to process this.
Our job is to give builders everything they need to build this highly interconnected Web3 future. And it's up to them to go and build it, just in the same way as something like YouTube isn't there to make great videos. YouTube is there to empower creators to make cool videos.
And finally, let me ask you this. Anything else we didn't cover? You know, that juicy tidbit you've been holding back for all of us to fight over? Or are you just here for the free snacks?
You covered it all really well. And I'd just like to say, use this opportunity that I always do to thank the amazing people building behind the scenes at Radix, all the amazing people in our developer community and on our Telegram and Discord, because we're really, really glad to have such an amazing group of people supporting the project who've supported it for many years. And if you've ever got any questions, our Telegram and Discord is a great place to ask. And if you're a developer, head on over to developers.radixdlt.com to find out how to get started with Scripto.
All right, that's a wrap for today, folks. You've been great. Well, at least you didn't hit the leave button halfway through, so that's something, right? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, and check the links below. Or don't. But then you're basically one of those people who skip the end of a movie and miss the best bit. Big shout out to Adam for joining us today. Always a pleasure to hear someone talk about something that might change the world. Eventually. We're all waiting for the rise and mass adoption of Radix, whenever that decides to happen. Until then, thanks for wasting your time with us, and we'll see you next time. If you're not too busy doing something more important, of course. Okay. This is what happens when you let a fly do the interview. Sorry, let me just get it together. I tell you what, I need a frickin' beer now.